right, so we're here for the Redevelopment Agency. It's called to order on October 7th, 2015. The meeting's been properly noticed, posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well, just recorded, as well as presented live on KCLV, Cable Channel 2, our closed caption for hearing impaired viewers. Please note some customers of Cox Communications who do not have a cable box may view this meeting on digital channel 89.5. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., also Friday 4 a.m., Saturday 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If alarm should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exit at the back of the chambers, out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double doors to the terrace, down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with our marshal or a fire official for assistance. Once outside, please assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and 1st Street. Employees wearing safety vests or city marshals will inform you when it is safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to items on the agenda, citizen participation and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit up front to the city clerk. Cards are available online in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If anyone's present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please come forward and see our clerk. If you parked in the parking garage across the street and did not have your ticket validated, please be sure to do so when exiting by our security officers. We will move on to agenda item 3. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. We'll set the time at 1 minute.
Mr. Snell wants to speak now or at City Council.
Okay, and Mr. Snell, we do have your card. Please come forward, and you're welcome to speak twice if you like. But you must have left for a minute. He's here. Here he is. Good morning.
Thank you, Mayor.
If you'll repeat your name, even though I said it.
My name is Edwin Thomas Snell, E.T. Snell. I'm the clown community activist. The world's a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. I want to speak on a couple things. I spoke before about the road coming to Vegas, the two-lane highway that's been there for 30, 40 years. We're doing a recall of Bob Smith and 2 other community service directors in Yermo. So we'll be replacing them. Although that's a small community of 800 voters, it's still on the highway to Vegas. So I'm hoping we can get you guys support out there and try to open that 2-lane highway into a 4-lane. Another thing that I'm concerned with is we went through this in San Bernardino County. It's item 66 on the March 11, 2014 San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors. What it was, and one of my big complaints, Lois, was the idea that the county allowed 18 and 19 total nude. I put a lot of pressure on them over the years, and they finally came around with a revision. I know it's freedom of speech, you know, and I know Vegas, but you know, we're starting to bring a lot of this kid thing in, and I know we can't regulate morality, but 18 and 19-year-olds dancing naked is not my idea of a cup of tea.
And I'm going to, as much as we want you to go on because it's very interesting, could you give the clerk the copy of that attachment?
I've sent that to your office, and I sent it to Bob Beer's office.
Okay.
On this item in San Bernardino County, and it laid out exactly how to do it. and so on and so forth. And I'll be glad to talk to Robin again. Beautiful lady. I love that girl at your office. And Mr. Beers, I had a lot of, she spent quite a bit of time with me, and I really appreciate that. So I'll be able to
Okay.
lay that out for you guys.
And you're welcome to come back later. We'll have more time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'll be back in the
Appreciate it.
next
Yep.
meeting.
To
Thank you.
speak about things that we're all concerned about. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? All right, we'll move on to agenda item 4. RA 172015, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program, CVIP, agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, and 305 Las Vegas LLC owner, located at 320 and 330 East Charleston Boulevard, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and authorizing the execution of CVIP agreement by the RDA not to exceed $25,000 RDA special fund. This is in Redevelopment Area Ward 3 with Councilman Coffin. This item's related to the council item 39R 572015. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor, members of the board. This is a discussion item on the CIP. As Mayor
Excuse me,
just-
Mr. Romeo, could you say your name?
I'm sorry, Romeo Betty, Redevelopment Manager for EUD.
Thank you.
Discussion item for possible action on a commercial VIP in Ward 3 on East Charleston. I've asked Mr. Carter from our division, he's a redevelopment officer, to present the information that, on the project. And we had hoped to have the owner and the applicant here also, but for the last minute change, it couldn't be here. But Scott will talk about them and what they propose to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Carter, Redevelopment Officer for the Redevelopment Agency. I received a complete visual improvement program grant application from Winthrop Chamberlain and Barnett Lieberman for the property they own at 320 and 330 East Charleston. They purchased this property before the downturn in the economy. They've held on to it. They're taking advantage of this program in order to beautify the property and then tenant it back up. They already have tenants in the building. They have letters of interest for future tenants as soon as the work is complete. In their application, they propose to do essentially $60,000 of exterior improvements, which would qualify them for the maximum $25,000 grant. The improvements they proposed were exterior painting, landscaping, window and door repairs, parking lot repairs, lighting repair and replacement, signage, and security cameras. Now, a key to this, the reason staff would back this application is because they intend to bring 87 jobs within the city of Las Vegas that currently aren't within our town boundaries. Those 87 jobs will create a $16 million direct, indirect, and induced economic impact every year. Staff has reviewed the application. They've complied with the guidelines of the Visual Improvement Program, and we recommend approval.
And in this request, it's an extension, correct? Are
No,
they
ma'am.
requesting they're not?
No
Just to
extension.
go ahead.
This is the original.
Okay, wonderful. Any comments, questions? Councilman Coffin, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I support this, and what I do want to know is, for years, I think the public's been a little troubled by one of the buildings on that parcel. It is the whole five-sided square, well, it is the whole block, and that's essentially has the buildings at the corner of 4th and
The parcel
Charleston.
address includes the entire block.
Yeah.
The key improvements will be done to the property on the building on the corner.
And I know Barnett's not here today, but I've talked to him about it. But what I haven't mentioned to him is something I want you to run over to him, and that is the question of the encroachment. I mean, Charleston was made wider over the years, and we took property, but we didn't take probably enough. So now we've got this building at the corner of 4th and Charleston that is right at the sidewalk. And what I want to know is if we can require a movement back, ultimately, when he does build, he's going to build something there, to try to get that back away from the street zone. It's not safe. It's too close for pedestrians with speeding traffic going by. So I want to bring that up with him, but I want you to tell him about that, so that in the plan, for the building to come, that be accommodation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't bring it up to him personally, but it just dawned on me that includes that corner. Thank you very much, Mayor.
We'll address it.
Is there anybody else?
Thank you. And you make a motion?
Okay, then I now move for approval of item number 4.
Thank you. This motion, please vote and please post. Motion carries. Thank you very much. The flowers look beautiful, artificial or real that they were. Okay, agenda item 5, RA 222015, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the interlocal agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, and the Southern Nevada Health District owner, located 278-286 South Decatur Boulevard, to be in compliance with and furtherance of the goals and objectives of the Redevelopment Agency, authorizing the execution of the interlocal agreement by the RDA not to exceed $200,000 RDA 2 Special Revenue Fund Redevelopment Area 2. This is in Ward 1, Councilwoman Tarkanian. This item is related to Council Agenda Item 40, R582015.
Once again, Romeo Betty, Redevelopment Manager for UD. This is a discussion item for the proposed interlocal agreement, which is an assistant incentive on an amount not to exceed $200,000. In Ward 1, it is a relocation and redevelopment project, which is one of our specialties in EUD too. I've had Shawnee Coleman, our Senior Economic Development Specialist, and our department's lead for the Las Vegas Medical District and Division's Medical Relocation Specialist as well. Ms. Coleman will do a presentation on the process, the agreement, and introduce key members of the Southern Nevada Health District Board as well.
Good morning.
Good morning. For the record, Shawnee Coleman, Senior Economic Development Specialist with Economic and Urban Development. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Iser, Chief Medical Officer, and his team from Southern Nevada Health District to join me at the podium.
And Ms. Coleman, in the interim, what's the cross streets? What are the cross streets?
The cross
here?
streets are Decatur and Meadows. Just
okay.
south of the 95 freeway, next to or across the street from Cardenas Market.
Behind
Red Lobster?
Behind Red Lobster, correct.
Behind Red Lobster. Go for it.
Right.
Okay, thank you, please. Good morning. Please state your name for the record, too, please.
Good morning. Dr. Joe Iser. I'm the Chief Health Officer for the Southern Nevada Health District. Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Council folk, and in particular to the two representatives who sit on my board, Councilwoman Tarkanian and Councilman Beers, and Mr. Adams in place of Ms. Fretwell for now. We're very excited at this opportunity. I think it goes without saying that most of you know we've had a problematic history as a district within the last 5 to 10 years here in the Valley. We've had a budget issue, we've had a building issue. We moved once from our old site at 625 Shadow Lane and went into temporary buildings, consolidated back at 330 South Valley View. And with this purchase and with this renovation, we now form a permanent home in the city of Las Vegas. I might add that I am a citizen of the city of Las Vegas as well.
We like that.
I'm sorry?
We like that.
I do too. Excuse me. And I must point out, you noticed the technique. So we're very happy to have this permanent home. We're well on our way in construction implosion here in the Valley. Some of you, Mr. Beers, came to our ceremonial implosion beginning where I used a sledgehammer to sledgehammer a hole in the wall. We feel that we're in the right place at the right time for the entire Valley. Doesn't say that we won't keep our outbuildings in the county and in other surrounding cities, but this will be our primary home. We will be consolidating 3 different buildings into this one. So all of the personnel from 330 South Valley View, mostly administration and environmental health, and our immunization program, our EMS program, most of our administrative kinds of programs will be moving into the new building. The clinical program at 400 Shadow Lane will be moving into our building 2. That's mostly, and I like to say these words in public, sexually transmitted diseases and other related programs will be moving into this building 2. And then behind our old building at 625 Shadow Lane is our TB clinic. And so we're renovating a part of the new building to have all of the state-of-the-art protective equipment in place, including special blue light procedures to kill the bacteria, special ventilation and filtration systems to make sure that it's safe for our employees to work there and for people to come in. So we're consolidating all 3 of those buildings into that location. Would you like me to go into a little bit of the detail of some of the ways that this money will help us?
Sure.
So if you've been by that shopping center, I guess anytime within the last 2 years, or at least since Target moved out, the buildings have gone into disrepair, and even folks that were there when we purchased the building have moved out. So the Dollar Loan Center moved out. The Port of Subs has moved out. Blick, as an art store, just recently moved out. So we're hoping to come in and rejuvenate a vital part of the city that is underserved for medical services that we provide. And so what these funds will help us do is really a lot on the exterior. We'll be able to paint it, put up new signage. If you drive by there, and I'd invite you to do that, you'll see temporary signs at the marquee point in the mall directory. We will be having to redo the parking lot. It's in pretty bad disrepair. We'll have to be doing a lot of filling of asphalt. We'll have to be doing slurrying work. We'll have to repaint, restripe it as well. We do know that we'll be the tenant, as Target was before us, to draw in other people and other places to come in. Currently, there's a Pizza Hut that I think my employees and Pizza Hut will appreciate our employees moving in. We hope to get more family-friendly organizations. We're working on the Korea with the owner of the rest of the shopping center to make sure that we get a sporting goods store and an exercise facility in there, and really family-friendly things that will be of benefit to the rest of the neighborhood, really. The other things that we're looking at, we will be, as you know, most of these buildings don't have any outside windows, and so for employee morale, we're putting in solar tubes that will help to bring ambient light in to help us with those kind of winter sadness that some people have, to bring ambient light in. We are going to all efficient lighting, all LED lighting. We're putting in additional security cameras over what have already been there. We're painting the building, doing some landscaping. Most of it has died around there, and it's our responsibility on the property that we own to keep up the landscaping as well. We're doing lobby improvements. We will have the old cafeteria that was there before. We're going to keep it there. We plan to have both a wide range of choices, including healthy choices. We have already contracted with the organization at the state that does that work for us. And we're really excited about that. They'll be open to our public, to our board members when they come, and to all of our employees. We are also refurbishing everything from top to bottom. The walls, the interior walls have been taken out because now we have to put in additional walls for cubicles and for our clinical spaces for privacy. So we're doing all of that work right now. And as I mentioned earlier, we're about 50% complete. I don't want to keep going on and on and on, but I could.
Well, you're obviously very proud of it. Move-in date anticipated is when, and are you adding more staff?
We will be adding more staff. It's certainly consolidating staff. We, in the near term, can't add any staff because of our current budget situation. But buying this building and actually getting these redevelopment funds help us because we're getting out of those very, very expensive leases that we've had at those other 2 buildings. And this will, in about a year or 2, give us the funds to be able to look at adding staff again. So we're excited about that. We do plan on starting to move in the middle of December. All of the folks out of 330 South Valley View will be moved in by mid to late December. And then in early January, it looks like 400 Shadow Lane and the TB Clinic will be moving in. So we'll be out of all of those other buildings by mid-January, which frees up that old building site, 625 Shadow Lane, for the medical school, which we're excited to be in cooperation with.
Wonderful.
We are very excited. I guess you can see that in my tone and in my face.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Coleman. Any comments, questions from council? Please go ahead, Councilman Beers.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I spoke with our city attorney's office yesterday. Councilwoman Tarkanian and myself both serve on the board here of the Redevelopment Agency as well as City Council and on the Health District Board. So out of an abundance of caution, I wanted an opinion as to whether we were conflicted out of voting on this. Because we have no fiduciary interest in any of it, and we have, what was the term they used, duties to both organizations or something like that. As long as we disclose that we are on the Board of Health, we may vote on this matter.
Thank you very much, and Councilwoman, I gather you will say the same.
Yes,
for
I
the
will say
record.
the same, that we checked legally, and even though I'm members of both groups, and we report this in the abundance of caution, legal has told us we can move forward as long as we disclose.
Thank you. Other comments you wanted to make, Councilman Beers?
Hearing, and I hadn't really heard it put together like this, that the building is behind the Red Lobster, I was going to ask Dr. Iser if crabs are still a problem.
They are, and we do treat those for anyone who may be interested in the audience.
On that,
This is the first time actually his finger is over his mouth, but he is smiling. Oh, my God.
I appreciate when he gets embarrassed
Too much.
himself.
Too much. I mean, I just feel it's very warm in here. Enough from this end. Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, speaking of STDs, and no one's better qualified than Councilman Beers to speak on that, of course. I think that I really like your novel approach and your aggressive and your outspoken ways of addressing STDs in our community, Doctor. I know this is about a building, and it is about more than a building, isn't it? It's about you're really at the spear point of public safety for all of us. You rank right up there with police and fire. And I'm sorry that the county has a shortage of money and can't, based on our antiquated tax system, support you the way they are. But I just want to thank you for being outspoken. I think you're on the right track with your solutions, at least one of the solutions toward the spread of STDs, which in my ward, which includes downtown, is very rampant. And prostitution is rampant downtown, and there needs to be common sense and realistic thinking on the solutions to the problems of STDs and prostitution. So thank you for speaking your mind, and I look forward to speaking to you privately on that same subject. Thank you very much.
Your words embarrass me, Councilman. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything you want to close with, Ms. Coleman?
I just wanted to point out that for the $200,000 that we're contributing, the Health District is actually spending approximately $18 million. They spent about $6 million on the building and about $12 million on the renovation and redevelopment of the site.
Thank you very much. Very important. Okay, Councilwoman.
after the intellectual comment by Councilman Beers, I wanted to get to a state of saying, really congratulations on the hard work that you and your staff did. This was not an easy journey. And right from the very beginning, it wasn't easy. And I'm very pleased because I feel that your having the Southern Nevada Health District there will help that corner business, and we need it desperately in that situation. So I would also like to say that we should note, and Ms. Fretwell, that this is another $200,000 donated to medical that is serving not just the city, but also all the county. We want the county to know that too. So I would like to move to approve.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to approve. Please vote and please post. You are smiling all the time. It's grand. Motion carries. Congratulations. We look forward to December.
Thank you. One last statement is I just had my 2-year anniversary 2 weeks ago, and I've been here now 2 years. It looks like I'll be here for some time longer. I couldn't have asked for a better birthday present for me and for the district, so thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That birthday, not your own birthday.
That's correct. It's my
Correct.
birthday of-
Because we have a lot of
I'm-
birthdays here, and Councilman Coffin's just
Yeah.
run away. It's his birthday.
And I'm
So
just
what a
starting,
wonderful present.
I'm just starting my terrible twos, so
Wonderful.
Oh, my.
Congratulations, we're thrilled.
thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the redevelopment agency. No subject may be acted upon by the redevelopment agency unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium, give your name for the record, the amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed will be limited. Is there anyone wishing to speak under this portion of the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item 7, agency member recognition. Comments made by individual agency members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the agency unless the subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. Is there any member of the redevelopment agency who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda? Any other comments? Full attention, you can see they're all busy with whatever they're doing. Hearing none, this redevelopment agency is adjourned, and we will go into our meeting in 2 minutes.